This is how to do the box stitch, also called the double rib stitch, on your knitting loom. I'm using a Nifty Knitter knitting loom. Normally I use 2 strands of yarn. It makes for a thicker blanket or scarf or whatever it is that you're making. The first thing that you do is you want to wrap some of your yarn around the end peg to keep it secure and keep your yarn from coming off. You don't need to wrap it too much, just enough to where you know it's not going to come off. Then you want to take your yarn, and to start off your first row you want to do your cast on, which I'm going to use the figure 8 cast on. So you want to do what's called an E-wrap around the first peg. It's called an E-wrap because it looks kind of like a cursive E. And then you want to go in between the 2 pegs at the bottom, wrap around, going clockwise, and go diagonally across to the next peg and around, and then in between the next 2 pegs around. And you want to just keep doing that all the way down. Okay, I've completed my figure 8 wrap for my foundation. Now I'm going to take my yarn, wrap it around the peg that's directly across from the one I just wrapped, then bring it back around. Go in between the 2 pegs at the bottom, wrap it, and instead of going diagonally across, you want to go right next to the peg and wrap it. And then you want to go straight across to the other peg, wrap it, and then hit the peg right next to it, wrap it. And you can see it creates almost a square, but it's not complete because these 2 here are not wrapped. But that's why it's called a box stitch. And then you want to do that all the way down. Okay, I have completed my first row, and you can see it goes like this. And now you just want to take your hook and do like you do with any other stitches, and you want to take your bottom loop and bring it over the top. The first one is always a little bit harder to get than the rest because it's a little bit tight. But you want to take on both sides and bring the bottom loop over the top loop. I finished doing my loop overs, and now I'm going to continue, and I want to do the same direction. I want to follow exactly the same yarn pattern as I did on the bottom row. Sometimes it's harder using 2 threads of yarn. Again, I'm going next to the one and then straight across, then next to it, then straight across, and do it all the way down. I've completed my second row, and again you can see with the stitches how it's wrapped, how it's supposed to look. And then again, you just take your hook and pull the loops over. And this will complete your second row. I'm going to do about 8 rows, and then I will show you what the effect will look like. Something else I need to let you know is that when you wrap like this, you're going to have 1 peg on each time you do a row. You're going to have 1 peg that only has 1 loop on it, and that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. This other side has 2 loops, but the other side only has 1, and that's okay. This is after I've done about 8 rows, and you can see where you have your double rib, where you've got the 2 rows of stitches, so it's a double, and then you have your space here, then another rib, and it kind of gives it a little ripple effect. And the other side looks the same way. And that is your box stitch or double rib stitch.